Hello. I am getting ready to do my life audit and I wanted to get ready first. So I thought I would start doing this while I'm getting ready. I've never done this. So am I gonna be able to do this? I thought this would be easier. Maybe it won't be. My first was born in February of 2020 and I had a beautiful home birth. He came a month early and that was a little crazy. I was stressy. We were renovating a house. Yeah, there was so much going on. Yeah, he entered the world and so much fear entered my life. Just from like past stuff, from things that I didn't know would resurface, like trauma-wise. And also what I'm finding is like generational stuff. Like things from my mother, my mother's mother, my mother's mother's mother, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And just like things that like are, things that I just had no idea would happen. So I was in shock a little bit. Koa, my oldest, presented with just like a lot of like symptoms. He was great. Everything was awesome. It's just knowing what I know now. Yeah, he just like had a lot of symptoms. And you know, with symptoms are signals, baby. And so instead of being like, what is going on? Maybe I need some help. Maybe I need support. I just internalized all of it. And I thought I needed to put on a face, and I did. And people would ask me how things are going, and I'd be like, they're fine. Which, you know, in a lot of ways they were. And in a lot of ways they weren't, you know? So I felt very alone. My first was my first. I wasn't physically alone. I had love. I had support. I had people who loved me around me. And yeah, I felt so alone. I was just dealing with so much inside. And there was just so many things that were surfacing that I did not know would surface. So putting on a little foundation. So anyways, with that, we got pregnant right after. So my kids are like 16 and a half months apart. So not right after, but soon after. And Koa was an angel, like an absolute angel, despite like what was going on with me and him. He just was perfect. Like, again, he's a baby, so, but he's just great. So we were like, let's do it again, me. And I think I didn't slow down enough and stop and just like ask myself like what was up. So then we went to have Aspen, and Aspen is more so my mirror child. He's very provocative and he'll tell you what's up, whether he's actually saying it or whether he's doing it with his actions. And so he was also a home birth. He was a surprise breech. Everything was great because we just went with it. And yet at the same time, he's just been such a shower. He's like, hey, let me show you what's up. Let me show you what's going on with your life that's incongruent. So with him, after 6 months, we moved to Maui, and Maui was so fun. And at the same time, Maui was hard in a lot of ways for me. I felt like, again, this whole like thing resurfaced with like not feeling supported. And if you know my husband, you know he's the most supportive person ever, okay? I was able to heal so much of my stuff, which again, I'll talk about at some point, because of him. Like, he's such a good listener. He holds such good space. I feel so grounded when I'm around him. He's like a rock, and also just has like very high emotional intelligence, but then also, you know, is like very masculine too at the same time. So it wasn't that necessarily. I had things in me that needed to surface and I needed to deal with, especially around this whole like feeling supported thing. And I didn't want to deal with them. So basically what happened after that is we were there, and I feel like my health, although it's so nice and like easy to be like vital out in Maui, I feel like that was the first time that I really started to like notice and see that like I just was not living in my design. Meaning like just like waking up every day like stoked for life and like feeling like myself as a mother and like, because with two littles, like you're in the trenches, so like there's gonna be days where you don't shower, you don't do anything with your body, you don't do anything with your life. Now in Maui it's easier because everyone just wears bathing suits everywhere, so you can just like throw your bathing suit on and shower in the ocean, which is honestly so great. So anyway, oh, I forgot to put mascara on. I guess it doesn't matter. So anyway, wow, the lighting in there was rough. Why was my lighting in there so bad? You would think that if it was the place where I was gonna get ready, that the lighting would be, oh my gosh. Anyway, so definitely started to like really notice that I was like not feeling like myself on Maui. And again, was able to get charged and just like feel so good because of the sun and the ocean, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And at the same time, yeah, just like started to be like, who am I? Like, what am I doing? Like, what do I like? What do I not like? Do I like that we're in Maui? Like just all those questions, And I remember talking to my girlfriends about it and just being like, I don't feel like I'm myself. And at the time we were doing a container with Michelle Chatham. Shout out to Michelle. Hi, Michelle. And we were just digging into so many things and trying things on and trying the polarity on between Colin and I and just like diving into like what was going on with our families and stuff. And so that part was like so immersive and great and wonderful and a lot at the same time, especially like with me like not feeling like myself. I just felt like I didn't have a foundation. And then also mirrored with being on an island, it's like, all the cliches and all the things that we use to describe for things like make sense. It's like, okay, you're on an island. What does that mean? People feel stranded on islands. People feel whatever, like there's a lot of things. Obviously, it's not always like that. Islands are also freaking beautiful and tropical and amazing. I was feeling the more like isolation, aloneness, lack of support, lack of resources, lack of ability to get resources if I needed them, which is not true. You know what I mean? That's just how I was feeling from like a biological standpoint. So clearly I was feeling unsafe in one way or another. So anyways, we get back from Maui, the fires happen, and we ended up, basically just like our landlords actually like lost everything. They lived on Front Street in Lahaina, and we ended up being like, stay at our place out there. Like we did not live in Lahaina. Stay at our place, like be there as long as you want or as long as you need. And then we ended up just being like, you know what? Like I was just like, I really don't feel the green light to go back and to live there. We had just gotten our real estate license out there, like had just gotten it. So, but it was just it just was feeling like a no. So being back here, it's been a year since we've been back in Columbus, Ohio. I have not felt like I've had a vision forward for like motherhood, for being a woman, just etc. Like I have just felt stuck. And so I put on a ton of weight. My like weight in like, let's just say in Maui, and I'll like put a picture up. I was maybe like 165. I'm like 5'9". And I weighed in March of this year. I like had weighed myself and I was in such dissociation with like my body and just like how everything was going in my life. I weighed like 190 and I was shocked because with both kids, I think I was like trying to get to 200 with both of my pregnancies. I don't know why, but I weighed like right around 190 with both of them. Like at like the height of my pregnancy or, like toward the end. And so I like remember like looking, I did like a scan of my body and just like took a video. I'll put it here of my body. And I just remember being like, who is that? That's not me. Who is that? And so I started to like be like, oh my gosh, what is happening? Like, who am I? What am I doing? Like, I just started feeling like not like myself in relationships, like with friends, relationship with my husband, relationship with my family, and overall, especially like my relationship with myself. So that was like a huge wake up call, was this March. And I had chatted with a friend out in Maui and I was like, what is happening to me? And she had had some like similar things going on. not the exact same, but was just like, whoa, I also had a wake up call recently, blah, blah, blah. And I remember just being like, I have to change things. And like, if I'm going to change things, like what am I going to change here? Because I'm not really eating that differently than I normally am. Like, what's going on? So anyways, yeah, that was a big wake up call. And then now, so that was in March of 2024. It is now, is it December? November or December. I don't know what day it is. I should probably know. But yeah, now it's the end of the year and I weigh about like 175, I'll say. Not that the scale matters necessarily, just as like a reference point. So I have lost. I have shed some of what needed to be shed as far as just like emotional weight or whatever it was. But anyways, I'm now at a place where I feel very conscious of my actions and my choices. And so doing this life audit, I'm like, oh my gosh, I need to do this. And also I've talked to so many moms, just so many women in general that are like, oh my gosh, I resonate with this so much. Like I also feel the same. I feel like I've just kind of like slipped into this like unconscious, like autopilot state of being or state of doing, really. And so anyways, that's where I'm at. And so with this audit, just getting into like my, again, like headspace, like a physical, like health, and then also like my heart. Like I feel like it's just time to really open things up and like see what's going on. And I can do that, but using kind of like a structure, having like a little bit of like a masculine frame around this, I think will be great. So without further ado, I'm gonna get into it. I had some, okay, I'm gonna start with Headspace. So Headspace is all about mental clarity, mindset, personal growth. Health is gonna cover like physical and mental well-being, and then heart is all about like connection, relationships, purpose, etc. So yeah, I'm gonna start with Headspace. I actually chatted with ChatGPT about like what would be helpful like audit-wise, and I asked ChatGPT many times, and I feel like I do have a really good framework now of like questions that I'm gonna be asking myself and like going through. Yeah, I think it'll be really good to see what's up, and I'm gonna do this like live on here just to show the process, I guess, and also just, yeah, we're in this together. So you're seeing this firsthand with me. Yeah. Okay, I had to get my computer because I realized that all the things were on my phone, which is what I'm recording with. So, okay, so I went through so many iterations of like how I wanted to do this because I want to be very holistic about it and like look into like every area of my life, not just like I eat this and I sleep like this, although those are very important. So I went through and had it like break things down, and like I was gonna like give myself like a 1 to 10 on each of these things. And I think I still am gonna do that, but I do wanna ask myself questions first. And these are the questions, okay? And if you want to do this too, you can write these down. Or maybe I'll make a like document that has all this in there for you. Okay, so what am I truly thinking about most days? And then it says, is it worry, guilt, creativity, or gratitude? What am I truly thinking about most days? To be honest with you and myself, what I'm thinking about most days is money, not having enough money. That's what I've been thinking about. So that's good. We're off to a good start. I also have like the mom guilt thing that I've been thinking about a lot. Not spending intentional time with the kids. Are my kids eating enough? A lot of that. I also feel like I have a lot of anxious and intrusive thoughts that have been happening recently. Yeah, I do think about the future a lot, and I'm hopeful. I'm excited. Yet, I do spend a lot of time thinking about those things. And what you focus on expands. So this is good to know. Okay, next question. What drains my mental energy the most? And then it says, is it overthinking, conflict, unmet expectations? Unmet expectations is coming up for me. With what? Unmet expectations. I think with a lot of things, actually. I think I project them on other people, and I'm realizing in this moment that it is me, my own expectations of myself that are being unmet. Yeah. That doesn't feel good. And then yeah, overthinking for sure. Whether it's analysis paralysis or just like overthinking something, I definitely can get into that mode quickly. Conflict. I don't think about conflict very much. Yeah. What drains my mental energy the most? What's coming up for me is just overall in general, what drains my mental energy the most, I think, is my thoughts. Good statement. Yeah, honestly, yeah. When was the last time you truly felt at peace? What kind of questions are these? I don't know if this was the last time, but I just thought of myself at the beach. Am I gonna cry? I just thought of myself at the beach on Maui with my friends, Tori and Landon and Sarah and their little one, my husband and my kids. And I remember just feeling so grateful, not even just for the beach, which obviously I love the freaking beach, but just like the presence of like our friends and like just like the unconditional love that they give. And like we were like very much there for each other on Maui and just like supportive of one another. And I just like felt so good and like loved and at home. And I feel like I can be myself around them. So I don't know if that was the last time, but that's what came to my mind. I love you, friends. Okay, well, what brought me there? When's the last time you truly felt at peace? What brought you there? Honestly, I think just being in the moment. I felt so in the moment in that moment, and just was able to like really like use my five senses, take it all in, like feel grounded, like feel my feet on the sand. I can like feel it right now. Yeah. Cool. Okay, so presence. Good. This is good. This is helpful. Okay, am I living intentionally or am I on autopilot most of the time? Honestly, I mean, this is why I'm doing this life audit. I've been on autopilot for at least the past year. Probably a lot before that too. I do feel like we were headed toward things that made me feel very intentional. Either I was working in real estate or we were flipping a house, or like there was always like something to work toward, like a goal. And I feel like I've been goalless for the last year, especially in motherhood. I just feel like I've had a lack of inertia. A lack of inertia? Or is it inertia? Wow, that one's tripping me out. Anyways, I just feel like I've had the inability to start in a lot of ways, which is also probably why I've put on weight, etc. So, good. These are all very good things to notice. These are great things to notice, Brianna. Oh my gosh. Anyways, okay. So yeah, I do feel like I'm on autopilot. I'm gonna go through now. Okay, those are the 4 questions. Woo! Those were good questions. Okay, now I have like a thing I'm gonna go through and give myself like numbers on, just so that we can kind of quantify this in some ways. Not that we need to, but I think sometimes it's helpful, you know, for our left side of our brains. Okay, so I have mindset, stress management, focus, learning and growth, time and energy management, and emotional well-being, and this is all within Headspace. Okay, so Headspace is all about mental clarity, mindset, and personal growth. So under mindset is thoughts, beliefs, and mental patterns. So I'm going to give myself on the scale of 0 to 10, 0 being absolutely nothing and 10 being the most perfectly perfect. So I will naturally probably not have any 0s or 10s. I'm going to, rate myself in these areas so that we can kind of see what's going on a quantifiable scale. Okay, so mindset, thoughts, beliefs, and mental patterns. Mindset. I'm gonna give myself a solid 5 on this one. I don't know how solid 5 is, but I do feel right in the middle because I feel like I oscillate a lot on that. Like I feel like I pendulum swing to where I'm like, everything's really great, I love it, my life, everything's really great. And then I'm like, oh, absolutely not. And the absolutely not is definitely in like an unconscious way. And the I'm doing really great feels intentional. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna give myself a 5. Okay, stress management. How you handle pressure and overwhelm. Again, I feel like I have 2 different things going on here. This is very Gemini coded. Not a Gemini, but how you handle pressure and overwhelm. So I do feel like sometimes I'm like, oh, this is what I live for. Everything's great. I can do this. And then other times I have an oil stain. Other times I'm like, again, unconscious and like not doing good. I'm like, no, absolutely not. So, but I'd say most of the time, stress management wise, right now, I'm just gonna give myself a 3. That's just where I'm at. I just feel like I have so much potential for the capacity that I can hold. And that right now, my capacity is a lot lower than it should be, than it normally is, I will say. No shoulds. We don't need shoulds. Okay, focus. Focus is the ability to stay present and also the ability to stay productive. Those are 2 different things, present and productive. Honestly, clearly that wasn't about to be honest. Honestly, when I am not distracting myself intentionally, I'm pretty good at freaking focusing. So, oh, the sun's about to come out. Oh, man. Okay, so focus. This is great. Do we see what just happened there? This is really good. I was about to give myself a 6 on focus. But you know what though? I'm still gonna give myself a 6 because the way that I focus might look different than the neurotypical peeps. Yet if I need to, I can stay present, and if I need to, I can be productive. So I'm gonna give myself a 6 on that one. Okay. Learning and growth, skills or knowledge you want to develop. I'm also gonna give myself a 6 on this because I do feel like I love learning and I love growing. Hence the audit here. I just know that I'm made for more, and so that's why we're moving toward this. Learning and growth though, yeah, I wanna say 6. There's definitely, I wanna develop there. I want to get better and I want to have more like goals, because right now I feel like I just take in information a lot, which I love, and I do integrate it, which is great a lot of times. Sometimes I don't, but yeah, I do want to be a little more intentional in that area for sure. Time and energy management. How effectively you're using your mental resources. Gotta be honest with you. This is a 2. I don't do that well, and I feel like that a lot of this is stemming from that. And I feel like there's got to be a lot of intentionality again around time and energy management. It's been lacking, especially compared to what I know I can do and what I've done in the past and what I'd like to move forward with in the future. That one's a 2. Emotional well-being, your capacity to navigate emotions without getting stuck. I have been a lot lower in my life and a lot higher in my life in this one, so I'm gonna give myself a 5 because yeah, I just feel like, I feel like I oscillate. I'm either like very intentional and understanding and like can sit with myself and witness myself and be loving toward myself and have grace toward myself in my very like, conscious moments. And then it's the complete opposite, where the whole like getting stuck thing, like being the emotion instead of like allowing it to like move through you, like stuff like that. Yeah. I feel like a 5, a solid 5, because I do feel like I can still get stuck in things and internalize things and like isolate myself when I don't need to. And so yeah, I do feel like I still, I feel like I could be, again, more intentional in that area for sure. So, okay. Add these up. I'm not good at this. 27 out of what? 60? A 27 out of 60. Solid. This is really telling. This is good. This is what I wanted. So my lowest areas are my areas for most growth. I'll say that. Are time and energy management. Stress management. Makes sense. And then I'm tied for mindset and emotional well-being. And then my highest 2 are focus and learning and growth. So funny that one of my highest is focus. That just probably sounds funny, but I've given myself grace on the focus thing. Again, the way I focus is different than potentially the average, okay? And so I do have to like love myself through that, and yeah. So that's hilarious. That's definitely a reframe for me. I would have said like 0 on focus before, but I've just learned how to focus the way that I best focus. You know what I'm saying? We can get into that. But anyways, okay, so from there, where are we going from there? Okay, so the next thing is explore the why behind your answers. And with the why stuff, I don't feel like I need to get like too hung up on this. I'm just gonna see what like comes up. So it says, after reflecting, go deeper, ask yourself why. Why do you feel drained in your headspace? I feel like I kind of went over this and we just see it just right now. I feel like a big word for me in this is like intentionality. And also being able to like pause and like reflect. Like I don't currently give myself time and space to do that. So no wonder things feel like autopilot, you know, if there's no intentionality. Why do I avoid certain areas of my life? Well, to be real, what's coming up is fear, not wanting to be wrong, fear. Yeah, I think denial for me is a big thing. I know denial for me is a big thing. I've worked through that in ways, and yet I still deal with it, you know? So yeah, I think sometimes I have an inability to, or I won't say that. I'm gonna say I feel like it feels like too much sometimes to avoid, like to press into certain areas of my life. At least like all of this has felt like too much. I feel like I've not had the capacity. And I know that stems from what I'm thinking about and currently doing. I know that stems from how I'm nourishing myself, both physically, mentally, emotionally, etc., energetically. I know that has to do with how much I'm allowing myself to sit with myself and love myself. So yeah, that's my answer on that. And then why do I focus on things that don't truly matter to me? Why do I focus on things that don't truly matter to me? I mean, I just feel like that comes down to like distraction and like not wanting to get to the heart issue of things because, well, one, just distraction outside of ourselves, like society in general, like it's literally meant for distraction, meant for attention, you know, buying attention. And then, yeah, I think that we all, okay, I'll speak for myself. Well, and all of us, like we all have, yeah, just like such great potential and of things that we can like create and like bring into this world. And if we're not moving toward that in one way or another, yeah, we're just like distracting ourselves. And so it's like, why do I focus on things that truly don't matter to me? I think that I have a sense of like trying to be productive no matter what. Again, like the guilt or anxiety or whatever that can come with like not doing something. So then you just do something, you know what I mean? Yeah, so why do I focus on things that truly don't matter to me? I don't know, why? Don't ask me that question. Yeah, okay, and then connect with your body. Your body often holds truth when your mind is resistant. That is so true. Try these exercises. So it goes through like body scan, movement, reflection, gut check. So I think I feel good. I feel like that's a good conclusion. I feel very more aware of what is going on with me in my headspace. Next part of this for headspace is going to be like, so we did the reflection. Now it's going to be like, okay, like what am I going to do about it? How do I want to change? A lot of times awareness is like the thing that will literally start to get like these things to shift and change of like, oh my gosh, I had no idea that I was doing this and now I do. And I heard someone say once, it's like these things were patterns. These things are patterns until we realize that they're a pattern. And then they're no longer a pattern, they're a choice. So, and it's true. That's true. I feel like the moment for me that I can, and this is why I'm doing this, the moment that I can take responsibility for each of these areas. And yes, there's circumstances. Yes, there's things that, you know, get in the way, et cetera, et cetera. But it's just like the inside is going to reflect the outside. And so it's like, where am I at? Can I look at it and sit with it long enough to where I can start to move toward the things that I actually want? So we did the reflection. Now I think I'm going to set some goals for each of these areas. A really, you know, like achievable, measurable, et cetera, goal. And yeah, from there, I think I'll document like how those things are going for me and just like be real and like see what's up, see what I need to shift, if I need to like continue with the goal, if I need to change it. But yeah, if you want to do this as well, I'll make a document for this and yeah, share it with you. And yeah, we're in this together. I feel like headspace wise, I haven't even gotten into like the motherhood stuff, which I have, but yeah, I feel like in order for me to feel more like me and also not just feel like me, made in me, but more like mother and also like what comes after mother, you know, just like the things I'm stepping into, I feel like this is a good start. So if you have questions, please let me know. And yeah, if this resonates with you, like, share it. This is a collective journey, you know, and like we are literally in this together. You're not alone. And I'm talking to myself right now too. Your experiences are not solely you, like the burden of the experience does not have to solely rely on you, or is not solely on you. It's on us. And by that I mean, like, yeah, we really are in this together. And I feel like the more we understand that we're not isolated and that like we can do this, like we have the ability, we can take responsibility, we can choose what we want our life to look like. I feel like that's huge. It's a huge thing, especially in motherhood, because it's so easy to give ourselves away without loving on ourselves and like actually being with ourselves and like allowing ourselves to look at ourselves. You know, I feel like a big part of my like disassociation, especially with my body, has been the inability to look at myself. Yeah. So I feel like the more that I do this, it's just like, you know, it's like working on your vessel. And then also, yeah, just like, you know, mind, body, soul, right? Like all of it holistically getting in and being like, okay, how can I love myself today in this, you know? How can I move toward being with myself, love myself, loving myself, seeing myself the way that God, my creator, sees me. Yeah. So I'm going to do a check-in. I'm going to start with feeling my body real quick. I feel my feet on the floor. Well, one of my foot is on a chair and it's not comfortable actually. I can feel my feet, feel my knees. There's spaciousness going on in my stomach. My chest feels open. My heart feels open. My throat feels a little raw. Not actually raw, but that's just the word that came to me. My head feels loose. My nose feels, I can feel, my nose feels like there's fuzzies in the end of it. So yeah, I feel very present. So it's just like a body check-in. And then how am I feeling to end this? I feel grateful and thankful. I feel very loved right now. I also feel anxious. I feel tired. I'm feeling actually very stoked as well and like excited. Yeah, that's where I'm at. So hope this was helpful. I just know that, yeah, we can do it. We can do this. And we're just in Headspace. We haven't even gotten into, we're just in the reflection part of Headspace. We haven't even gotten to the part where we can change things and shift things yet. In the awareness, the shifting happens. So I truly do believe that. So stay tuned for the next one. We're gonna go into health next, which is like physical and mental well-being. So we're gonna go over nutrition, fitness, sleep, stress resilience, self-care routines, energy levels, body, all that. So yeah, stay tuned for that. I'm excited. Love you.